shocking fashion to the Kansas Jayhawks as Tennessee with a 2-1 visit to UNLV. Tennessee finishes fourth in this prestigious tournament. And we welcome you to Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm. We've got Alex in the house, Alex Myers, who sits in the host chair a bunch here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, and will throughout the season. Also, Brian Hartman's here, who you'll hear in the host chair as well, and Matt Dixon with the wit and the wisdom that he will provide. Tennessee, quite frankly, and the title of our video and what we're doing over on X is Bad Counsel, because they got some bad counsel tonight. Counsel from Kansas had 17 points and his own 11-0 run doing the Vols in. Strange basketball game. Kansas did not score a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 18 seconds and wins 81-76. But they did go 4 of their last 5 down the stretch. The Vols couldn't buy a bucket in the second half, and Gillespie wasn't good. And it was just one of those nights. It was one of those nights where the 3-ball wasn't going in. They couldn't get any. Carey was really good, and that's about it. And that was one hell of a great coaching job by Bill Self. They're without their best player, who's a freshman. And quite frankly, I call it like it is. Last night, I got on here, congratulated both teams. Tonight, I get on here and I say, that's one of the reasons why Kansas is a regal in college basketball, because they were shorthanded tonight and they should have gotten blown out of that game. But somehow Bill Self was able to cobble enough together with their limited club that they have, and they are really challenged offensively, to attack Tennessee at the rim just enough to get home with the win. Let's go around the room, and then we'll go to the phones, 865-200-5402. If you want to join us on a night where the Vols, it's hard to see what they did well offensively, because in the second half, Tennessee just fell apart. Just fell apart in the second half of this game. Let's start here. Matt Dixon, happy Thanksgiving to you, my brother. Glad you're in here. Your thoughts on what we just witnessed?
Yeah, kind of the reverse of the Houston game, where, you controlled the game for the first half, built a 12-point lead, and then just kind of offense went cold in the second half, and they started making shots and scoring in transition. So Bill Self does that a number of times a year. It's why his teams usually are a seed or 2 line higher than probably the roster. He's probably the best in-game coach in college basketball, and he kind of took our guys to school in that second half. The weird part is that the Trey White was really Kansas's only guy that kept it close in the first half.
Yep.
And he fouled out with like 10 minutes left. And that's kind of when they went on their run, right about when that happened, and Estrella rolled his ankle. But disappointing second half. Actually, I thought Tennessee got some pretty decent shots by the right guys.
Agree.
Couldn't make anything.
Yeah.
And then for the first time all year, you couldn't get any offensive rebounds.
Yep.
Carey wound up getting a few, and he was good there late in the first half, but you just couldn't get any second chance points, and didn't really go to the free throw line a ton. But you just missed a bunch of shots and gave up a bunch. Transition defense wasn't great, and that's kind of what Houston took advantage of early in the first half yesterday. So that's something that Tennessee's obviously going to need to work on. But I thought Ament responded well and had a really good first half. If we're trying to find some positives, and you went 2 for 1 out there. I think would all take that, especially when you consider you beat Houston.
Yep.
Which that'll be a big win that'll resonate at the end of the year. And losing to Kansas, regardless of if they're shorthanded, is never a bad loss.
No, and they're missing one of the top freshmen in the country. This is an incredible freshman class. We've seen it in this tournament. They say it's one of the best in years. The Devanza guy at BYU, they're all over the place. The interesting thing about tonight's game, and Matt, you talk about it, White has a mystifying grab at the 15-minute mark. I made a note of it. 14:46 to play in the game. He's grabbing us on a breakout to pick up his 4th foul, and then his 5th foul was equally stupid. And at that point, you're thinking, okay, well, the game's over. Their guy's off the floor, and here comes Council. And Council went from 5 points at that point in the game, Matt, to scoring the next 11 points to finish with 17. He just carried them.
Him and Jackson were
and Jackson was out of his mind.
Half.
Yeah, and those guys couldn't throw it in the ocean in the first half. So, crazy night. I mean, Council scored 5 buckets in a row to finish 6 for 17. He was 1 for 11 before he went on that run. I mean, it was just... Alex Myers, your thoughts? Because I know Brian's steaming. I'm just trying to keep Brian pent up over there in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, different outcome than last night, but still just a quality basketball game.
Yep.
And I know Kansas is maybe from a roster-wise not the best Kansas team we've seen, but I still think it looked like, I think, like you guys have said, it's kind of the reverse of yesterday. I thought Tennessee played okay. I don't think they played real poorly. They just didn't get shots to fall. And you kind of wonder this early in the season. You kind of get in that rhythm of playing every few days, and all of a sudden you kind of go with that short turnaround. To me, it looked like Tennessee had some dead legs. I mean, Gillespie saw how hot he was last night. Tonight, he just couldn't get the shots to fall, and he wasn't the only one. I don't take a lot of negatives away from this. I think I just kind of you tip your hat to Bill Self in Kansas and say, hey, you guys found a way to win a game that you probably shouldn't have. But I think as good as Tennessee was last night, this is still a team that's gelling.
Sure.
And I just think I think it's just it happens in college basketball. You're going to have games like this, and unfortunately, if Tennessee, if that kind of dry spell kicks in 5 minutes later, we're probably having a different discussion. But the shots just didn't fall, and I think sometimes there's complications in basketball, but I think sometimes it's kind of as simple as that.
Well, look, first game it went in. They had a magic wand. Our guard had a magic wand. Last night was a street fight. And tonight, I mean, you play 3 games in 3 days against tough competition, and you run out of gas, which is what happened. And they got some bad counsel, because you're never going to get bad counsel with Marcos Garza and the Garza law firm. That is never going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But tonight, I'm afraid Tennessee counsel stepped on the floor with some bad intentions. And that, as they say in the trade, is that. We'll get ready to go to our phones, but Brian Hartman's got something he wants to say. Brian, hit it.
Well, it's a disappointing finish to what I think was a positive tournament where you have a 12-point lead, 15 minutes left, and you have control of the game. You seem to take control of the game with that spurt to end the first half, rather, where you went up, I think, 9 on carry, steal, and dunk. And you take control of the game, and you're up 12, and then you make 3 or 4 field goals the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
And Gillespie could not miss Monday, and he could not make one. He was 1 of 10 in this game from 3. And then I just thought defensively they just got behind them. They reached. They fouled them. Kansas made every big shot, every big play. They got fouled and had 4 and 1s in the second half.
Yep.
If you don't foul them, if you just keep them to 2 points, you just give them 2 points. It could have made a difference, but the and ones just killed them. I mean, they would hit a big 3, and then Kansas would come back and get a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. I think that happened at least twice. So it's a good showing. 2-1 is what I thought they would go out there, but I certainly did not like the way it finished. I think that'll leave a bad taste in their mouth. Hopefully they learn from this, and when they're ahead of a similar, I guess, a team that's on Kansas' level later on, and they're up 12 with 15 minutes to go in the game, hopefully they can finish the deal that time. And from now on, they got to learn, and they got to use this as a learning and experience and a teaching tool.
I'm going to work on a column for tclub.team, talk about the things they can carry with them from here. I think one of the things is this Jalen Carey guy can play. Tonight, he did what Council did at the end of that first half. He had a really great run, and he channeled his inner Zion Williamson there. So the bottom line is, when the ball doesn't go in, this is how it looks. And when Gillespie goes 1 of 10 from 3-point land, and we're playing SEC basketball, and you're playing a pretty good team, you're not going to win. It's just the way it is. You can't have your go-to scorer go 1 for 10. And like Matt said, a lot of his looks were wide open, great looks tonight. You can't just, it is what it is. So let's go to the phones.
I also, just one more thing. When you're up, you're shooting, 50%, and they're shooting around 30%,
Yep.
and you're only up by 7 or 8. I just kind of had a bad feeling they needed to be up by more than that. And sure enough, it didn't last. It evened out, and then when it evens out, you're in trouble.
To the phones we go. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching us. I was really wanting, if we won, to do a real fun Thanksgiving show and have you bring in your dish and tell us what dish you're bringing, and I just don't feel like I'm in the mood to do that now. I was telling Anthony that upstairs. We were watching the game together, and just a real bummer. Just a bummer way to end the game. But so 865-200-5402. Matt, is this a fair criticism? And then we go to the phones. Tim Parker says, Barnes just watched Ament throw the game away on offense and defense, and then he yanks Phillips for one mistake. Is Ament just going to play the season with impunity this year, Matt?
Well, Ament's one of your two go-to scorers, so you kind of want him to have him and Gillespie to have the ball. Phillips is more of a veteran who they probably have a higher expectation of for some of this stuff, some of the little things. But that's actually one thing I want to get C's thoughts on is which guys can you tell are being hard coached, which guys have leashes. Because that's always kind of an interesting thing with Barnes because he does treat players differently.
Yes, he does.
I don't mean that in a negative way at all.
No.
Just some guys have short leashes, some guys don't. Poor Troy Henderson in that first half, he came in, bricked the top of the key three, and then gave up an and one layup on the other end. And we might never see him step on the court again for Tennessee.
865-200-5402. If you want to get in the mix with us on a night where the Vols fall short and have a 2-1 showing in Vegas and finish number 4 in a really prestigious tournament among some of the best in the sport and best that the sport has to have and has to offer, and blows a double-digit lead in the second half, as Brian said. Just a lot frustrating about the game, but hey, I tip my cap to Kansas. They never quit playing. And you almost got the sense that Tennessee was a possession or two away from folding them up, but they just could not get that shot to go when they were on the edge. So let's go back to our phones, and we'll go to our first call. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Kansas's guards outscored our guards 60 to 24.
Sure did.
And
that's the game.
That's what I was going to say is that we're a guard short.
Well, and the other thing that Matt
we're a scoring guard short.
Just relax. The other thing that Matt brought up, which is a true story, is that we're getting beat back way too much on defense in this tournament. Now, that could be that we're just a tired basketball team at this point, but it was happening last night, and it happened tonight again, and I can promise you that's something that they're going to focus on as we get back into some real games in the month of December leading into league play. Dave?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think our defense dropped to number 20.
Yeah.
It's the worst defense he's had here.
Well, I mean, Dave,
since
come on.
His second year.
Come on, Dave.
It is.
Dave, we're 5 games into the season, buddy. Relax.
Well, this is why tonight, Bill Self, they must laugh at Barnes when they look at the bracket and see that they got him in an Elite 8 or whatever. This is why our guy's not going to make a Final Four, Tony. He got schooled tonight. Bad. Really bad, Tony. It was awful. And he allowed Amos just to keep 5 for 15, Gillespie 1 for 10. I mean, that's your best two scorers. They're not winning. And the thing about it is, and I go back and I look at these teams that, like in Alabama, that made a Final Four 2 years ago. They were in Elite Eight last year. But what Oates does, even the Houston coach, even the Greg Gonzaga teams, they had multiple high percentage shooting guards that knock down shots. And Barnes is always one short or two short. Because actually, we only had one last year, and we only had one 2 years ago. And the formula is pretty easy, Tony. But I don't know if it's stubbornness.
Dave, they tried to get 3 different shooting guards in the offseason. We had Mark Griffin on today. They had Isaac McNeely committed, but they couldn't get him in the school.
All they had to do is match USC. All they had to do is match $3 million.
For $3 million, I mean, they already have a $3 million player. What do you want, the Lakers payroll, Dave?
Well, Tony, do you want to win or not?
Dave, well, I'm not paying it. Okay, first of all.
So so you're saying now, what you're saying now, Tony?
Yes.
Is that I don't care if we fall short, I'm not paying it. Is that what Florida did last year? Because they went out and paid it.
Florida didn't know they had the team they had. They had a mid-major point guard that led them to a national championship. They had no idea that was going to happen, Dave.
But all 3 of them guards were pretty unbelievable.
They had no idea, Dave.
Well, they knew Clayton was good. Well, all of them had good track record. All of them were high percentage three-point shooters.
Not to that degree, though. Come on, that was magic. What happened last year down there?
Well, magic didn't happen to our guy.
Oh, Dave, come on, man. This guy's been to 2 Elite Eights in a row. They've had a standard of excellence set at this school. He's got us playing among the Regals in this Regal tournament. I mean, Dave, you're overreacting to one game. You weren't here last night telling me that Bishop Boswell was the solution at 2 guard. And you know what, Dave? He just might be. But in tonight's game, we just didn't shoot the ball well enough. And in your own way, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. You're out of here. 865.
I'm just confused.
Yeah.
I'm just confused, Tony, because he's telling us that we don't have shooters on the roster, and
right.
But then he's mad that our best 2 options, and Gillespie in particular and Ament, he's mad that they're taking as many shots. So which is it? Are they taking too many shots, or do we not have anybody else on the roster that can take them? Because to me, it can't be both.
Food for thought on the other side after this. You're tuned to Garza Law. Tennessee basketball overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and my Garza Law Firm and your Garza Law Firm. Folks that live, work, worship with us, play with us in our community, work around us, not carpetbaggers. They're online at garzalaw.com. Your go-to law firm. DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, a myriad of other matters pertaining to the law. Don't play around. This is your life. Available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, special shout out to our friends at WeShipFloors.com. We ship floors where the pricing's insane. The Supercore floor is the real deal Holyfield. And for right now, you're invited to head over to the website and take advantage through this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the sale. I'm talking about put the promo code Tony in and you'll get 45% off. Put the promo code NEGADAVE in for 35% off, and that's the sale going on through the holiday over at WeShipFloors.com. Shout out to Alan and the gang at We Ship Floors. Also, speaking of the holiday, ladies and gentlemen, my friends at Calhoun's, feed the family for the holidays. You got it. Hot and ready smoked turkey. You have a feed 5 or a feed 10 option, or hot and ready smoked prime rib. It's all fresh, it's all delicious, and you'll get more at holidayfeedpacks.com. Again, holidayfeedpacks.com. All the information you need And we're also presented by our friends at T3 Vodka. Score a T3 every single time with Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka taking our volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka. Handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, but a way of life. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof. A smoothness unmatched. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka. And the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat on the rocks or mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Hit a T3 and ask for T3 Vodka by name at your local restaurant or at your wine and liquor store. Distributed by Athens Distributing, and please drink responsibly. And speaking of responsibly, let's now get back to more on your Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. Tony B back with you in your Raymere studio, fired up, focused, and prepared for you. We've got Matt Dixon. We've got Alex Myers. We've got Brian Hartman with you. A special shout out to Mark Griffin. Griff today was with us on your daily show, and, Griff called the shot. And I thought he was right. I thought we'd take care of Kansas. The game went as he thought it was going to go. And then we just hit a cold spell and just couldn't get a shot. So, don't learn from it. 865-200-5402. Hey, Matt, I don't see anybody among our 11 that played tonight. I don't see anybody outside of maybe this Henderson kid that doesn't look playable right now. The Henderson guy, he's a thrill a minute, Matt, on offense and defense. And he played for a minute, and it was a thrill on offense and defense, Matt.
I just think they were trying to give one of your guards a breather, and it obviously backfired on them. He's not going to be in the rotation come league play.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious.
The Abram kid gave him a little lift tonight. They went to him when they were looking for a little lift. Ament left so much meat on the bone tonight. He missed so many shots around the rim that he's just got to make. Really disappointing loss. I have no idea how Kansas won that game. Tennessee, the things that were successful in the first half, the things that really worked for the Vols in the first half just did not work for them in the second half on defense. And that team started getting home and started getting really, really good looks at the basket. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi.
Hey, Tony. It's Zach and Elizabeth.
Hey,
what's
Zach,
up, man?
Welcome in.
Hey, can I cuss?
Please don't.
Well, not bad. Can I say damn?
You can say whatever you want. I got kids listening, though, man.
Sorry. I'm pissed, man. But I got mad at Nega Dave because he started running down our team like just the other night. Last night he was praising our team.
Yep.
But okay, Bill Self has a pink slip, and on that pink slip is Rick Barnes' name because he owns Rick Barnes. Since 2 years ago, since we beat him in that conference room, we played him in
the conference room. Yep.
Yes, I wish we could go back to that conference room because since then we haven't done it. One thing I will take away from this, I'm pissed. I'm really upset to all the children out there that are listening. I'm very upset, young children. The year we played Kansas, we played them 2 years ago with Connect, and he was like 4 for 17. We lost to Kansas early in the season by a pretty good margin, and we went on to the Elite Eight. So I'm really irritated because of the way we squandered that lead, and I've got so much stuff. Taking Phillips out was the right move because we got to the very end of that shot clock and Phillips fouled. I mean, what, Matt Dixon, did you see that? Well, that was so dumb. We had a chance right there.
Matt Dixon, did you see it, Matt?
Well, yeah, I saw it. I'm not sure what he was doing, and Barnes was asking him the same thing. I don't know what was going on there. That was really odd.
Also, one of the beautiful things about last year's team, which I'm not being negative, but if we were down a couple of possessions, you could probably count on a couple of steals and maybe to get that and get an inbounds pass. I'm not seeing that ability. Obviously, we don't have grizzled veterans like Meshack and Ziegler that are going to take balls away, but they're for the last minute of the game, it was last minute 15, it was over because we weren't going to take an inbounds or scheme up a play to trap somebody. It was really bad coaching by just bad scheming at the end of the game. And I mean, how do you blow a 12-point lead
to that team?
I mean, I know we got close.
To that team of all teams. Like that team is punchless. That, like Matt said, their guard just fouled out with 10 minutes left. There's no way that team gets home and beats you there. It's why we love college basketball, though, because truly, out of nowhere comes this Council kid with his own 11-point run. His own 11-point run.
I know. Let me
make this point.
Can you not?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Brian.
I just want to say this. When you play now, Kansas was playing their third straight day in a row too, but when you're playing two teams that have played 3 days in a row, funky things can happen, and that's a situation that doesn't pop up ever, hardly ever. So I think in some way you just have to throw this result out. And as far as Phillips fouling there, I think that's this kind of thing that can happen sometimes when you're tired. You just don't – sometimes you don't hear what you're supposed to do. You get things mixed up, and it can happen. That's very common. So I just think the whole 3 days and 3-game thing is just a little bit – it's an abnormal situation that won't ever come up again, hardly ever. So in some way you should just throw it out. But, yeah, I am a little bit like Zach is. It is disturbing to me. They blew a 12-point lead.
Well, the first game out, that Houston team that we were praising last night blew a 10-point lead to Syracuse in the last 2.5 minutes. We all saw that. The game went to overtime.
We came back from 11 down yesterday.
And we can't,
I don't think it's that big of a – it's not some shocking result.
No. It's the sport
I
of
knew
basketball.
We were going to lose. I knew when I woke up this morning and I saw that we weren't going to play in the championship game, which, I mean, I know it is what it is. I hate this formula. But I knew we were going to lose because I was like, well, we're going to lose because I knew Kansas was understaffed. And I just knew that was – I was like, this is perfect. We're coming off a super high. And, man, if we had won tonight, I would have had the best Thanksgiving in years. I would have had the best Thanksgiving.
You can still have the best Thanksgiving in years, Chief.
I know, but I can, but like I wanted.
Come on, bro. We're together, man. We're here. We're breaking it down scientifically. We're moving right to left across your device, and we've got a great team.
They won 2 or 3, and they beat Florida Saturday in football.
We've got a great team.
All right, Tony. Before I go, Tony.
This is a great team, man. Yeah.
I make homemade whipped cream for my pies that I make.
Oh, let's go!
Oh, damn it!
See you, babe. Thanks.
Hey, I'll actually argue
Did his whipped
against what
cream go
Brian
sour
said.
there? What happened? Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Well, I just say I agree with Brian to an extent that you're not going to play 3 games in a row, probably the rest of the season. It's kind of an anomaly, and what can you take? But I actually kind of think when you face in any sport, really, if you ask any coach, they'll tell you when adversity hits, that's kind of when you find out about your team. And we've admitted Tennessee has not played a very good schedule until this tournament. And I think we found out something about them last night, and I think that's worth taking. And I think what we saw last night was real. But I also think that what you saw tonight is a little bit revealing too. If you're Rick Barnes, and you've got to be able to have that conversation and look at Nate Amen and say you got to be able to finish when you get that close to the basket. So I do think you can, even though you're not. This is kind of a weird scenario. I do think that when the adversity hit and you kind of had some things get exposed, I think that you can kind of hammer home those points, and I think Rick Barnes will.
And the other thing is that Amen, as the game continues to slow down for him, and you can see it each time he steps onto the floor, it's more and more of his game is coming. The thing that you see with him is there's going to come a time where Gillespie's not going to have it, and Ament's going to carry them. It's going to happen, hopefully, in the tournament. That's why you play these games. That's all this is about. This is all a process here. And I'm not going to get over my skis over one result. And Nega Dave's in the YouTube channel being, I mean, I like Nega Dave. He's over there being a hemorrhoid. The Vols fell 5 spots in Ken Palm. Dave, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, sweetheart. And then he's giving me defensive stats. Dave, it's not even December yet, sweetie. What are you talking about? This is a snapshot in time, and it's one result. And they didn't handle it well, and Bill Self out-coached Rick Barnes tonight, but that's okay. It's not like it's some kind of, it's not like Rick Barnes sucks as a coach. I mean, he's a great coach, but these guys get each other. I mean, we got Houston last night, and he got Kelvin Sampson after Sampson got him in the Elite Eight last year. Yeah, and, I mean, these teams are all very good that are in this tournament, except for maybe Stephen F. and Pearl's Auburn team, who are deadlocked at 61 with little Rick Pelino over there.
One positive is they cut down on turnovers. They had less than 10 turnovers against Houston and Kansas, the best two teams they played. So that is one good thing to look at going forward.
You couldn't throw it in the
ocean. They can do that against good competition.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony, gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Richard, same to you.
Well, I tell you what, boy, I Tony, you know I'm not a very negative person, am I?
Not usually, no.
Okay, and I'm not going to be. I'm not horribly upset or anything like Nega Dave or the last caller there. I think the game kind of swung there after the first 5 minutes of the second half. I'm going to say this is what Richard Allen's eyes saw from that. I thought we took a little step back energy and intensity-wise, thinking we had that game won.
Yes.
And for about 5 minutes, when you lose focus intensity, you miss shots. You miss defensive assignments. They were getting to the basket real easy. I just thought we took some time off. Then we had 2 guys go out injury-wise. I just thought it was a bad 5 minutes. And before you know it, Kansas has momentum. They have all the energy. And then their guys are seeing a big basket. And nothing they did was wrong. And shots were going in, difficult shots. They were getting fouled, going to the line. And then when we tried to turn it back on, sometimes you just can't turn it on to that level, especially 3 days in, because when you're running on a high like that and your adrenaline's going and then you shut it down a little bit and it's your third day, it is even harder than to recapture that. But as Kansas, they never came down from it. Once they got their energy level, Tony, they had 2 guys that completely outplayed us and had a lot more energy on that court tonight.
Amen.
And to me, that was the game.
And you know what's great
that's
about
the game
sport?
I saw.
Well, you know what's great about the sport, too? Because Matt said it. The white kid commits his 4th foul, which was incredibly stupid, with like 14 minutes left. So he's out of the game. They bring him back in. There's 10 minutes and change. And now they're lost. They're lost without their guard, and they're already without their best player. So now you're really shorthanded for the stretch drive. At that point, you're down 7 points. You're just teetering there. But our intensity kind of followed, Richard, how we could not make a shot. And that generally never happens to a Rick Barnes basketball team. And I wonder how – it'll be interesting to poke around behind the scenes and see how they deal with it. Because at some point you just have to admit that, hey, we're in a 3-game stretch in 3 nights against 3 pretty damn good basketball teams. I mean, even the team they played on Monday is not a bad basketball team. So, everybody out there can play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you what he's going. This is going to be the teaching moment. He's going to put the film on and he's going to show and say, look, they had less guys off the bench we did. Mm-hmm. These guys played this many minutes. I gave you guys rest. And these guys completely went out there and wanted it more than you, and they went after you, and you guys didn't respond. And that's where you got to learn. As a team, because this is going to happen again. This team is good, and they're going to have multiple games where they can turn it on and be up 12-14. And so the opportunity is to learn from it that any game is not over, especially, I mean, yes, we're better overall than that Kansas team, but Kansas still has D1 really good ball players. And you let those guys see a big hoop and start believing anything can happen. That's why it's sports.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Richard. Always a pleasure hearing from you. 865-200-5402. I was thinking, like you were thinking with 12 minutes tonight, man, we're going to get down there tonight and talk about how we belong in the championship game and talk about what a great tournament it was. Still a great tournament. Last night's one of my favorite nights of doing this show in a long, long time. Unexpected success is a really fun thing. That game last night was just phenomenal. The juice and the energy that must have been expended getting through that thing. And, you know, and now, Brian Hartman, now we're adding insult to injury because you guys told me that Stephen F. and Pearl's on. And Steve F. Pearl,
they have taken a 2-point lead with 6:45 to play.
we have Stephen F. Austin.
65-63 Auburn.
Stephen F. and Austin, Stephen F. and Pearl. Or is it Stephen F. Austin? Now they have a 5-point lead.
Stephen F. and Auburn is what we'll call him.
Stephen F. and Auburn.
Just remember, Butch Jones went 2-0 against Steve Spurrier.
God, there are anomalies. Yeah, I want Stephen Pearl to really enjoy this year and a half he's going to have as the head coach of Auburn. I think it's a great story. As we come back with more, we'll get some more calls in. Richard, good hearing from you. It is your pre-Thanksgiving edition. We're still very thankful for a great tournament and our time together here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. We'll get you back momentarily to another action-packed episode, or this action-packed episode of Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Special shout-out to our friends at TLD Logistics, who provide your phone activity. My friends at TLD Logistics are online at tldlogistics.com. Whatever your shipping need, TLD Logistics has you covered. Also, a special shout out to Waterside Contracting. Maybe you have a dream. Maybe, at this winter time you're starting to think, I need to buy some land. I need to build on it. Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true for hundreds in our area. Whether it's custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Check out the website, Waterside Contracting, LLC.com. That's Waterside Contracting, LLC.com. Quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, look, you're not going to run. You're not going to walk. You're going to run. That's what I'm trying to say to Walker's Painting. Walker's Painting, interior and exterior. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999 across our Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard about it right here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run. Don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting. You can check out the link if you forgot the number on our website over at tclub.team. And one other note for you before we get you back to the action. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for the Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. Come on, there's nothing better than your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree, whether it's a nice polo shirt or a new hoodie or something for that man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall, and pop your friends with something new from Alumni Hall, the best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, also in Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, and alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange holiday. Happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall, the ultimate Vol shopping experience. And now let's get back to another award-winning, action-packed episode of Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. And we're going back to our phones here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Fired up, focused, and prepared with you. Tell me the last time you saw a game where you saw a flagrant one foul called, which happened tonight on Boswell, and then they don't score a bucket. They don't score a point. They don't score anything and still win the game comfortably after their point guard fouls out with 10 minutes left in a game when they're already down their best player. And look, I mean, people are gambling on this stuff, as I like to say. Josh Carter says the following in a super chat over on YouTube, and we like our super chatters. We like our YouTube. We like our YouTubers. We love our super chatters. And then I'm going to read a chat from Nega Dave, who's starting to really urinate me off. Alex, I want your thoughts on this. He said Houston beat us without beating us tonight. We played one of the more physical games of anyone last night. Kansas had 2 bye games in Notre Dame and Syracuse. This is not rocket science. End of the day, tonight means nothing. Al, how do you plead?
I mean, I don't think it means nothing. I think in the scheme of things, yeah, it's not a huge deal. You're going to get better from this game whether you win or not. Just like I said last night, but I think you can have that perspective while also simultaneously saying, yeah, you should have won this game. Yep. I mean, Kansas, yeah, maybe they had a little easier path to get here, but they're still a short-handed team. They're still the team that had their guy foul out, halfway through the second half. And Tennessee's still the team that was in control for 3/4 of the game. So I think both of those things can kind of coexist.
Negative Dave says Syracuse, Illinois, and Louisville are L's. There's no L in Syracuse, Dave. What are you talking about? You think that's Syracuse?
They're just going to lose them all now. I mean, they were going to win them all last night. Now they're just going to lose every game.
Love me some Nega Dave. You talk about a brain donor. A living, breathing brainiac. Let's go back to our phones. 865-200. 5402. Chris Thomason 01 says, this game meant everything with the 3-game stretch we have coming up. If you think this game meant nothing, you just don't need to watch basketball, he said. Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Troshy boy.
Wings.
Well, I guess you could think on a positive note that we didn't give up tonight. We fought till the end.
Agree.
Yeah. So, Tony, what did you think about Jalen Carey's performance tonight? He had a double-double in a losing effort.
Jalen Carey is going to command and demand more playing time if he continues to play like that.
Yeah.
He gave him a real lift in this tournament. And he channeled his inner Zion Williamson at the end of the first half.
He did.
Nasty, dude. That was nasty when he took it to the hole, boy. That big old man, that inertia. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. I thought his pants was going to come down after that dunk.
It was really interesting. He ended up playing 26 minutes on the night. He got a lot more run in this tournament than I think any of us thought he would, and I just hate it for Estrella that he just can't stay healthy. Estrella tonight was going to have a 20-point night on these guys rather easily. He fouled White out. White went over his back for that 5th foul. Estrella was a matchup problem for this Kansas team, but of course he rolled his other ankle, and he was only limited to 9 minutes. And even though he played only 9 minutes, he still netted 10 points. Look, conservatively, if he would have played 18 to 20 minutes tonight, he probably has a 17 or 18-point night, and we're talking about a Tennessee victory right now.
Right. What do you guys think about Ethan Berg so far in the first 8 games of the season? Because I feel like if we had a decent guard on the bench, he would take Berg's playing minutes.
I just think it's too early for him. He got here late. He didn't have a camp. they're concerned about his defense, which was always going to limit his playing time. I think it's too early to tell. Panel, what do you all think of Berg so far, whose real name is Borg, but he's letting people call him Berg? What do you all think of him?
He could be that third scoring option Dave's talking about. It might be hiding in plain sight.
Matt,
I don't know about third, but
Yep.
he could be a kick out guy for a three. I think he's made like half his threes this year, and
Yep.
it's like 6 of 12 or something like that. So he can be a catch and shoot guy, but he's obviously a liability defensively, and there'll be plenty of games against long and athletic teams, especially ones that play tempo, that I'm not sure he functions in. But I mean, him and Abram, if you combine those two, I mean, if you get 8 to 12 points a game from those two, I think you'll take that almost every night.
I think that's kind of where I was going to go, Matt. I think two things. A, he reminds me of a guy that Barnes has had seemingly every year on this roster. They're two different levels of players, but you look at a guy like Vescovi, the transfer from that was like the leading scorer in D2 a couple of years ago, whatever that guy was. Now Berg. It's like we've always got one guard that's undersized, under-athletic, but comes in as a guy who can score, but we know coming into the deal he's not going to be as athletic or whatever. But
what happened to you, Al? But what? Go ahead, Josh.
I think
I'm sorry.
he accidentally muted himself.
He muted himself. That's
Two things.
your chin's getting too big.
Sorry.
Your chin's getting too big, Al. You're dropping a chin on me.
No, but I was going to say, I think Matt's kind of right. To me, what the hope has to be for a guy like Negative, who's kind of got a valid point. We don't have a legitimate star two guard.
Yeah.
But if you can get, between Abram, Berg, Boswell, just one of those guys, every 4 or 5 games can give you a little spurt and maybe score 12 points, hit 3 or 4 threes. Just, each of those guys do that 3 times this year. If they're in the right spots, you could be just fine, but it's going to have to be a combination because none of those guys are good enough to be that guy by themselves.
How many nights, guys, is Gillespie going to go 1 of 10 from 3-point range? I don't know.
Not a lot of nights.
I don't know that's going to happen again this year.
Guys, 2 things out the door. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. And Negative, come on, be a little positive, man. I'd rather have a loss like this early in the season and be really battle-tested come March. Have a great night, guys.
Not Negative. He just wants to get on here and prattle on and rattle around like an empty barrel, making a lot of noise.
Sounds like Joshy's back under wings.
Joshy boy's back under wings, yep. The face turn is upon us on our TLD Logistics phone lines. Auburn has now opened up a 9-point lead, and so Stephen F. and Pearl is out coaching Rick Pitino as we speak. Stephen F. and Pearl can coach. He can do it. One of the bright young coaches in America. Hello and welcome into the next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How's it going, my buddy?
Hey, Greg. Happy Thanksgiving season to you, buddy.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Hey, you were talking about what would you bring to the conversation. Well, as I was clicking you on, I was bringing with me a little nice bowl of hot macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
let's
go.
I'm going to tell you, I don't cook a lot, except maybe on the grill, but macaroni and cheese, I make it with butter, of course, Velveeta cheese, and some milk, white milk, and that's one great thing I do make. So anyway, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I would
really
pass
good.
some over to you if you were nearby.
That
So,
sounds
anyway.
highly caloric, my brother. Alex would need to stay away from that. Alex keeps muting himself because his chin keeps popping into the element on his phone.
Well, looking at the game tonight, gentlemen, in my view of this game and the one last night, and this is an occasion, one of your guys said earlier, that 3 games in a row against pretty tough opponents is not going to happen again. And go back to last night, gentlemen. A tough top 5 team we faced. Tennessee probably had the best defensive game last night that I've seen them play, and I don't know when the last time was. It was fantastic. They left it on the floor last night, and that's the problem. They had to come back and play a pretty damn good team tonight. And they did well in the first half. We got a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
We got a lot of freshmen, and we did well in the first half. Got that 12-point lead earlier in the second half, but as we look at it, it was getting about almost halfway through the second half. They looked to me that they were tiring. They were getting tired, and you can see that by the shooting of the field goals. They're short.
Yeah.
Rebounds. They're not after them as crispy as they were last night. And watching guys in the paint for Kansas driving in, we had too many players looking and watching them instead of getting in there and blocking a layup, doing something. So I don't think we have anything to worry about this team. Rick Barnes is a hell of a coach. He's got a hell of a team. And I'm going to tell you, they'll do fine. But if I was Coach Barnes, you said he played 11 people tonight.
I might have played more than that. Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think he played 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guys played. Yep.
Okay. Played 10 guys.
Yep.
Y'all might think I'm crazy, but I've seen it done in college. Columbia State's coach done it every year. He's like 8th year. He's won the region championship in the entire state of Tennessee. That's 10 colleges. Regular season, a bunch of times. Every year, he's got about 22 players, 21. He has 3, 5 players, 3 squads of 5. And he's put the ones that play together with each other. So when they start the game, and this is crazy. I know y'all are saying this is damn crazy. Well, y'all need to watch this game, watch these guys play. When they start the game, the first 5 might get 3 minutes in, maybe 4. The new 5's coming in.
Kind of like what Queen Kimmy does with the Lady Vols.
Yeah, but, I mean, this coach has been doing it forever.
Queen Kim and
working.
Greg. Yep. Greg, listen, we don't have the numbers at this level to do that, my brother, but I appreciate the time. Most of these teams are going to play 10 or 11 guys. Tonight, Bruce Pearl was saying at halftime, he said Rick Barnes, or I guess maybe it's pregame, he said Rick Barnes likes to play 8 guys. Generally, we played them. He said he's playing 10 or 11 right now. He said, and they have some options. Is there a name I'm not seeing, guys, that didn't play tonight? There's somebody missing from this thing. Gillespie Boswell, amen.
Brown didn't play.
There you go. Brown got lost.
Yeah.
He didn't play in this tournament, did he? That's odd.
He didn't play
he didn't
in the
play last
second
night
2
either.
games.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Wonder if he caught a little bit of that bug or something.
I just think Carey took his minutes.
Yep.
That's the only reason he was playing early was he was ahead of Carey on their kind of depth chart deal and kind of just send a message to Carey. And obviously it got through. Carey's going to be really, really good for you.
Hey, Matt, that Michigan bunch is up 20 right now on Gonzaga. You said it last night in our group, in our little chat in here.
Look at how big their bigs are.
Wow.
There's some grown-ass men on there. I think they have that big guy that was at UCLA last year.
Grode.
The 7'5" stiff that Brian liked.
Those guys are
He's
grode,
the
man.
7'3" guy.
And yeah, the 7'3" guy that can dribble. I mean, Dusty May's got a team there.
Both teams had 32 points in the paint tonight. Tennessee shut that out in the first half. And this Kansas team just started to get downhill in the second half. Tennessee's defense waned a little bit. Auburn's going to beat St. John to finish wherever they finish in this thing. God knows how they stack these teams up. Auburn's going to go what down there, guys? 2-1 or 1-2? What's their number?
2-1. They beat Oregon and then they lost to Michigan.
That's a real shame.
So they'll be 2-1.
That's kind of a bummer. They went 2-1. Hello and welcome in on your Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Hey.
Hey, I think the reason that they won the game is they just drive the ball up there, and they drive. These great teams like Duke and Kansas, they drive the ball, they get layups, and we're not getting the layups that these teams like that get. We're shooting too many outside shots, and we need to run and get those layups also. We're doing better this year, but I think that's the main reason they won. They kept getting layup after layup, and they'd get fouled. And you know, Bill Self, he's a good coach.
He's a hell of a coach, man. I tell you what, he's going to think of tonight as one of the better wins he's had in his career. When you go out there without your best player playing your third game in 3 days against...
He wins 3 or 4 games a year just like this.
That's wild.
He's the best in-game coach in the sport.
Wild. I mean, they have their best player, Matt. Then he loses his point guard who's out there doing crazy boneheaded things, jumping over a guy's back for the 5th foul with 10 minutes left, after fouling and not just letting us have a layup.
Breakaway layup.
Layup. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, his teams are – I thought it kind of hit me about 5 years ago that his teams are never as good as their final record. It's a weird deal. Like, they're just not talented. Like, they're nowhere near as talented as they should be when you look at how successful they are every year. They just get better throughout the year, and he just has really, really good in-game coaching.
May goose to him, man, because he can flat out coach. And by the way, I'll say this as a bald man, because I can appreciate it. He's gotten his hairpiece trimmed back this year. It looks pretty interesting what he's done with his hairpiece. He has like a receding hairpiece. It's very neat.
You know, if we had won that game, I think we'd been in the top 5.
Yeah, that matters.
2 games like that, 2 games in a row.
Oh, yep.
And I got one other thing here. I think they ought to call timeout when they get these 12-point leads, and I think they could build it up to 15. But
you call time when you get you call timeout when you get a 12-point lead. Is that what you would have done?
I would call timeout quicker when the lead started to evaporate.
You know, I agree with that. We were talking about that during the break tonight. Barnesy sort of spectated this evening in that regard. I get a timeout to stop the bleeding. I agree with that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And one thing when I'm leaving here, one thing for Brian here, I agree with him. One little football thing. Can I do that, Tony?
Sure. You're my man, Luke. You know that. You built the Lukey Dome, brah.
Yeah, Kiffin, I agree with him. If he'd stay at Ole Miss, he wouldn't have to worry about getting fired. I think if he goes to LSU or Florida, he's going to get fired because he does some stupid stuff. And going for it on 4th down in his own 20 or 30-yard line, stuff like that, I think they'd get him fired at LSU or Florida. And if he stays at Ole Miss, he don't have to worry about it.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, look, and Luke brought up a really good point about Barnes, and I love Rick Barnes. He's raised the level of our deal. He's not perfect. None of these people are. Tonight, you got to get a timeout. But these guys just won't do it. I mean, my team's totally discombobulated. And then again, Matt Dixon's right. We were getting good shots. They just weren't going in. There is a school of thought to say it, so I'm arguing with myself right now. But 2 things can be true, right? We should have gotten a timeout. We were still getting pretty good shots, though. How many nights is Gillespie going to leave that many points out there? He had so many wide-open looks at it. And guys, I'm just going to say this. I know we lose the game. I have no problem with Ament taking 15 shots in that game. And even taking 5 3-balls. Do you guys have a problem with it?
No, I mean, if he doesn't take at least 15 shots, there's something wrong. That's not good strategy at all.
No, I agree. He's got to be when things aren't falling for Gillespie, he's got to be the guy that steps up. And unless there's just a a mismatch inside where Estrella's going off or something like that. I mean, Amit's, if this team wants to reach their full potential, he's going to have to be the guy you can give the ball to at times, and especially when Gillespie's not. I don't have a problem with that at all.
To the phones we go. The difference in the game is very simple. Kansas was 7 of 17 from three-point land, and Tennessee was 7 of 25. And if you play that game 3 times and that number is that number, you're going to probably go 1-2 or 0-3. Quite frankly, we'll get our final timeout in, get some more calls in, and call it a night. And get on with our holiday after this. Going to get you back momentarily to this exciting, action-packed episode of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by my man, Marcos Garza, and your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whatever you need in matters of law, they've got you covered at the Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Pop over there. They're available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, shout out to our friends at Calhoun's. They are, ladies and gentlemen, the taste of Tennessee. Remember, the Feed the Family for the holidays. Holiday packs are available for you. Special shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to my friends at VIP Play. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. VIP Play live always. 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you can't find it on your book, check out VIP Play, because everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee, to place a bet. Shout out to our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company. Proud sponsor of the My 20 Drive of the Game. What's it gonna be tonight, or have we announced it already? Connexial, your transportation platform as a service, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. The goal is to help your fleet be more efficient, make drivers, make our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, and make drivers happy. Shout out to Wichita Ken, Kristen, and the whole gang. They will treat you like family, because they are family. KONEXIAL.com. KONEXIAL.com. Speaking of family, the guy that keeps it insured here in the Rainier studio is Josh Collins. Through Erie Insurance, everything from pillar to post in here, our entire setup is insured through Josh Collins and Erie Insurance. You will experience the Collins Insurance difference online at collinsinsuranceTN.com. And when it's time for us to go for dose, we don't go for trace, we go for dose. We reach for an ice-cold Dos Equis. Dos Equis Lager Especial, the Golden Pilsner style beer made from the choice of hops. A balanced composition, smooth, clean finish. Party guest, always invited, never overstays his or her welcome. A Golden Pilsner style beer, nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. You gotta taste it to believe that. Go for Dos Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. And a special shout out to my friends at Performance Medicine. How do we keep these hours? How do you do it, Tony? You're just crazy. I mean, it's nuts. You're working so hard. I don't know about all that, but I'll tell you this right now. My friends at Performance Medicine, you want to take control of your wellness? You want personalized health solutions that'll fit your life? You want an approach to medicine that puts you first? You want comprehensive, proactive solutions empowering you to achieve optimal health on your terms? You want Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel over at Performance Medicine. And now, without further ado, let's get you back to today's edition of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. I'm in here having to police our chat during our timeout because that's just the nature of this. That's a lot of fun, though, down through the years, playing referee and people saying, why are you picking on me? And, look, here's the deal. When it comes to this YouTube thing we have, I like people getting in there mixing it up. It's why I have the comments on. But we're not going to devolve this thing into, I'm better than you, and we're going to have a fight, and I'm going to come in here and aggravate everybody. We're going to have a community of people that are going to get along and aren't going to sit there and snipe at each other. And I'm not going to read it and listen to it. Okay? So warning everybody involved because I'll just start picking people off. It does not bother me. I blocked a guy last night who told me that he was distracted by all the sponsors on the screen. I got a little riddle for him. Those people are how I make a living. Okay? So I helped him out. He said it was too distracting. I blocked him. So he doesn't have to watch it now. That seems fair. Seems fair and reasonable. And this DR character who's in here tonight aggravating everybody just said, see ya. DR, okay. You'll be back, though. You'll be back. You'll be back. But when you call somebody out, they just, they just want to pick their ball up and go home. So it is what it is. I'm just not going to sit here and let it go on. I'm just not. I work too hard to sit there and let that go on. Sorry. As we go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines, it's Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. We are going to be live at Calhoun's, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday. I know it's going to be cold AF. Cold AF. No, DR, I'm not blocking you. I'm not blocking you, man. I don't want to block anybody. I blocked that guy last night because he's ripping my lifeblood. I'm not going to block you. Let's go to our phones and get our next call in. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. This is Matthew from Cleveland.
Hey, Matthew in Cleveland. Welcome in, brother. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I think the game pretty much changed tonight with, I can't remember if it was about 8.5 minutes to go, but when we did have the 12-point lead, we had a chance at like 3 defensive rebounds, and we fumbled them off our fingers, and we give them a 3rd or 4th chance, and they hit the 3-pointer. And that's basically when the game completely turned around.
You know what? That's an excellent, excellent point. And you know why they got to those balls? Because they were really, really playing hard. That Kansas team dug deep tonight. There were several spots for them to fold. Do what, Brian?
The same reason they got the N-ones.
That's exactly right. There were multiple N-ones in the game. Alex was talking about that. That's a demoralizing thing to happen to your team. It's indicative of when somebody's just playing harder than you. They just get downhill and they get N-ones.
It seemed to me that last night we wanted the game more than Houston, and tonight, sadly, Kansas wanted the game more than us. And we were also, I was talking to my cousin before the game started today, and I was like, oh, it's great. It's a 3-game stretch, and, we've got the players. We're not going to be tired. It's going to be great. But in all actuality, Gillespie got tired. I was talking to my cousin, and he pointed it out. He said he's missing. He's missing on the front iron every time. He's flat. So there's that. And one last point I wanted to make is Ament is growing. Tonight, he was driving to the basket. I know that he's not perfect, but he is growing, and you can see him getting better and better. And hopefully, I just feel that this team is going to be built for the tournament later in the year, and he continues to grow, and I've seen him driving tonight, which is what I've wanted to see. So if we can get him in shape and he continues to make these strides, I think we're going to be okay. I was a little bit discouraged about the game tonight, but not really. I mean, I think it's a good growing experience, and we're going to have to continue from here. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, man. Love you. Appreciate you, brother. And it's you make some really good points. You know, Matt, generally you don't see Rick Barnes teams get out hustled for boards like that. That's generally not something we see. We're not used to seeing that around here. They're the ones getting to the loose balls. That's how he's built his program, on that toughness.
Yeah, and you saw that against Houston. You were the tougher team.
Yep.
And you won on the boards last night, and that game probably took more out of you than Kansas's 2 games. But it is what it is. You just didn't make shots, and they made some shots and took advantage of some suspect defense, which has got to get cleaned up, and I'm sure it will. But the transition defense is certainly something to kind of keep an eye on going forward. Like Illinois and Louisville will will test that for sure.
Yeah.
But no, you aren't going to go undefeated. So, you're not going to be the last undefeated team like you were last year. But, it's not a bad loss at all.
No.
You should have won. It's a shorthanded team. But,
Yep.
You just got beat in a tournament, a third game in 3 days.
Matt, show me a team in modern college basketball that is going to go undefeated. Right? Show me a team in modern college ball that's going to go undefeated. There isn't one. And some losses.
Probably this Michigan team.
There you go, Brian. This Michigan team. They're going to go undefeated, I'm sure. They may not win this game. The Zags are on the comeback. We'll get a few more calls in and get out of here. We're taking the day off tomorrow. I wanted to work tomorrow, and Laura said, you can't do that. I thought it'd be fun to do a Thanksgiving show, guys. She said, no, Tony, you're not. We're not doing that. Tonight's game was tied 9 times. It was tied for 4 minutes and 32 seconds. The Vols had the lead 27 minutes and 51 seconds. Kansas had the lead when it mattered. They led down the stretch, took a lead at the 5-minute mark, and never gave it back. Led for 7:37 and won the game going away. Really weird basketball game. But I do think there's a lot of things that occurred in the game, and I also think there's a lot of teachable stuff out of the game. This Ament guy, though, as our friend in Cleveland just said, watching him grow and develop over the next 3 months is going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of meat on that bone. There were a couple times tonight, balls that he laid in that he will dunk over people later in the year. He's going to get stronger, too, as the year goes along. And he's still a little, he's a kid, so he's still getting the ball ripped out of his hands a little bit. That stuff, as they toughen him up and he gets beat up in the SEC, that stuff's going to is not going to happen to him as frequently. They're going to learn him. As we go back to our phones, I continue to be impressed with just how far they've taken Felix Okpara. He only had 7 tonight, but, man, he is just a different player on the offensive end. And defensively, he was really good tonight. Really good on defense, but
3-point marksman.
Wasn't meant to be. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, am I on?
You sure are. Go right ahead.
Hey, man, it's Boy Billy from Harriman, man. Hey, man, everybody's got their takes, man, but I know what happened tonight, man. What happened tonight, Tony, was Kansas had a one-man council tribunal meeting at the under 12-minute timeout. and that council kid said, hey, I wouldn't mind a little extra money. I'm going to try to go win me a Honda Accord. That's just a little capitalism at play tonight, baby.
So funny.
I just want to say, Happy Thanksgiving, bro. Happy Thanksgiving. And you want to hear about my sweet potato dish real quick?
Hit it.
Sauteed sweet potatoes on the stovetop. Soak them in a little olive oil, lemon pepper, cake them up, get them browned up. Get you a little bit of couscous, a little garlic, maybe some sliced almonds. Maybe if you're feeling funky, a little dried cranberries. Stir it all up. You got your little dish. I'm out, Tony. Be good, bro. Happy Thanksgiving.
Damn, somebody in Harriman's eating good. Matt, a Boy Billy? Did you ever think Boy Billy would have a dish with couscous in it? And nuts? Dixon, was that on your Singo card?
It sounds like he's on couscous when he calls every time.
Interesting. I love me some Boy Billy. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's David Ackworth.
Hey, Ackworth, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, guys. Hey, first and foremost, I'm going to speak on behalf of the entire Basilio Nation, how much we all love you guys and how much we want you all to have a happy Thanksgiving. I think even Negative wants to wish that as well. So I'm going to speak for him on his behalf. And Tony, we say it, but I know you know we mean it, but we really do appreciate all you do and the sacrifice you make. And I'll be honest with you, I will come to your home and the North Knoxville area and whip you if you try to do a show tomorrow. So don't even think about it.
Interesting. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Hey, as far as tonight goes, I'm telling you, I think at the end of the day, Barnes couldn't have asked for a better loss. That team, I think their mindset was they won the championship of this tournament last night, and I'm not so sure they didn't. I think, and I think that they played that way. I mean, they came out, everything went their way, and then the moment it turned sideways for them, which is the first time it's turned sideways for them all year, except really for the first half of that Houston game, they just didn't handle it. Now they get to know how. Okay, what did we do wrong? How can we make sure that doesn't happen? I am concerned about the defense on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. 2 nights in a row now, we had guards that kind of went off on our guys at the just taking the ball and driving and scoring, and that worries me. And I feel like right now, and I think they said it earlier, this team, it feels like it's got a little bit of a Kennedy Chandler team vibe, where it's like we're going to go as far as Gillespie takes us until Ament can pick up that slack like we talked about a minute ago. I just hope he can. I worry about his lack of strength. And that one time late in that game when he was going up for a layup and the guy just
took it away from him.
Out of his
That's
hand.
exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, that worries me. That's got to change as the season goes on.
Yeah.
And to me, that's more of an off-season weight program change and not a middle of the season change. But I still think he can do it. I'm still buying on the fact that they're elite at all 3 levels. They may not play every night elite, but they are elite at all 3 levels. And I think I think a game like this. I mean, let's face it. Those guys didn't come down off that Houston high last night. I mean, they carried it a little bit into that game today, and they were probably feeling really good. And then when that thing turned south, they did not know what to do. And this is the time of the year you want that feeling. You don't want that feeling in February and March. You want them to have that feeling in November. And Barnes will take that as a teaching lesson for them. And I just feel like at the end, this to me is going to be like, remember the North Carolina game we played last year?
Sure.
At North Carolina, was it last year or 2 years ago? North Carolina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we were getting blown out, and Connect kind of brought us back in, but and then when he got hurt, that was the end of it. But that game, we were out of that game for most of it. At the end of the season, nobody remembered that game or cared. I mean, and that's kind of indicative of a game like this. People are going to hold on to that Houston win, and that Houston win is what's going to show up in March on television when they say best wins. Well, guess what? They're not going to have the Kansas game on there as a worst loss. No, that won't be, because that's what they always show. Best wins
to your
and worst
point,
losses.
Dave, to your point, you only get better when you play in tournaments like this. And if you go out there and you get bloodied up, even if you'd have gone 1-2, it's great for your program. If you hope to attain greater things, you've got to play in these games, man. You've got to play in these events.
Mm-hmm.
Really good for this team tonight.
Yeah. And Barnes will play in these events. I mean, he's brought us to that point.
I love it.
And we talked about, look at all these neutral court games that we're playing this year. This is the one, I'm not crazy about the one with Illinois in Nashville, but I don't have any problem playing in this tournament.
Yes.
Because you're getting nothing but good stuff out of that. And like I said, I think I'm going to be honest. At the end of the day, I think losing this game the way you lost it may end up being better for this team than if they'd won it and come out of there maybe feeling a whole lot better about themselves than they should. I think this brings them back to earth a little bit after Houston and gets them focused, and Barnes gets a week to prepare to get them ready in the mindset to go to Syracuse. And
thank you, my brother.
So I'm still excited about it. Appreciate it, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, you. Go around the room here. Go ahead.
Today's point, though, and this is part of my final thought, is this is a team, Houston, that knocked Tennessee out just a few months ago in the Elite Eight. And I know only 3 players returned, but the rest of the team knows that this team from Houston was in the Final Four, and you knocked them off. And that's still a very good version of Houston. So he's right. There has to be a high off that. Just you have to get off that in 24 hours. That can be tough to do.
Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Jack Fritz checking in on me, says, I can't believe you're wearing Eagles gear. That's kind of funny. Fritzy, I like that. Okay, on the way out, guys, where are we at here? Talk to me. Matt Dixon?
Happy Thanksgiving.
What do you think, buddy? You excited?
Yeah, really fired up for Saturday.
Yep.
Should be a fun game.
Yes.
High-scoring, fun game. We'll have a preview for it on Friday's blog.
Yeah, man. I'll be working on the blog tomorrow night. I have a funny feeling these two teams are going to get into a fight before the game starts, which I want to encourage, by the way. This thing feels like it's going to be sometimes there are games where you think it's going to be ugly and it's very gentlemanly. I think this thing Saturday is going to be a really filthy, dirty football game. Old school, with people knocking each other over.
The two teams fought before a game. Tennessee won 45-0.
I was there. I remember that one. Jerry DiNardo met the Vols in the not to be confused with Eddie George, but he met the Vols in the tunnel, Jerry DiNardo, and he got the absolute hell beaten out of his Italian nose that day. Alex, give me something, brah.
Yeah, I'm. It's kind of cool how it's worked out. It seems like it's kind of been a long week, but it's been cool because this time of year, for a lot of folks, I think it's hard to get into basketball with football still going on. And with a big game coming up, you would think that would be the case. But playing all these on a weekday, it's kind of given everybody an opportunity to recover from the Florida game. Everybody shifts into basketball mode. And now with Tennessee not playing till I think Tuesday, everybody can kind of fully focus back on football. So kind of a neat opportunity here. And I think like everybody said, you're better for having played in this tournament. But I think I'm with everybody else. As soon as we hang up here and get off the air, all focus is on Saturday. And Matt, I need you to pull some strings and get Jawan Jennings in the locker room for the pregame.
Oh, and by the way,
absolutely, God, that
maybe we
video
can stream it on Periscope, like that
clip
video.
Of him just dog cussing Brady Hoke about Vandy that when he was hurt is one of the all-time great clips.
It may or may not be saved on my camera roll.
It's saved on mine. Absolutely.
Do you have it, Matt?
Yes, I have it. Who do you think I am, Tone?
He says,
of course I have that clip.
He says
you're
something
you're the one that wanted Jennings arrested for tripping over that Vandy guy on our sideline on senior day. I'm sure you don't remember that at all, but
Matt Dixon lurking in YouTube tonight. I'm sure he was that DR character, DZ or whatever his name was. Matt Diskin. All right, Diskin, final thought. Hit it.
I already gave my final thought.
I love each and every one of you then. Brady Joe.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what a great holiday. Appreciate you guys. I can already taste the pecan pie, as they say in the trade. I call it pecan, but different strokes for different folks. And different folks for different strokes. Till we meet again, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks to everybody that joined. The panel was great. Thanks to all the callers that got through. Those that didn't, thank you as well. All of our wonderful sponsors, please support them when you get an opportunity. Shout out to my friends at Calhoun's. We'll be down there on Friday, breaking it down scientifically and moving right to left across the device. Till we meet again, congratulations to Tennessee, who went to Vegas and got fourth place in a highly prestigious tournament. Could have, should have been better, but we'll take what we got, as the great Randy Bachman once said. And we'll be back on Friday to T to the C to the B, Elvis Presley. We love you. Peace. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. And enjoy the rest of your time with your family. And know from our radio family to yours, your dysfunctional radio uncle / cousin / brother / friend / good buddy, Tony Basilio, wishes you a wonderful night And thanks for being there. Pretty good stuff. Peace. All right, let's play back tonight what we just did as we laid it on down. Yeah. Basketball is such an interesting sport because when you do a post-game show, you can't overreact. You can overreact. It's fun to overreact to wins. You can't really overreact to losses because it's such a process sport. Last night was so fun for that reason. We just got to let our hair down, and I haven't let my hair down in a long time. But we got to let our hair down, and that was just a fun thing, you know? Just a fun thing. Love you, appreciate you, love you, mean it. Peace. Really good. And that's about it. And that was one hell of a great coaching job by Bill Self. They're without their best player, who's a freshman. And quite frankly, I call it like it is. Last night, I got on here, congratulated both teams. Tonight, I get on here and I say, that's one of the reasons why Kansas is a regal in college basketball. Because they were shorthanded tonight and they should have gotten blown out of that game. But somehow, Bill Self was able to cobble enough together with their limited club that they have, and they are really challenged offensively, to attack Tennessee at the rim just enough to get home with the win. Let's go around the room, and then we'll go to the phones, 865-200-5402. If you want to join us on a night where the Vols, it's hard to see what they did well offensively because in the second half, Tennessee just fell apart. Just fell apart in the second half of this game. Let's start here. Matt Dixon, happy Thanksgiving to you, my brother. Glad you're in here. Your thoughts on what we just witnessed?
Yeah, kind of the reverse of the Houston game where, you controlled the game for the first half, built a 12-point lead, and then just kind of offense went cold in the second half, and they started making shots and scoring in transition. So Bill Self does that a number of times a year. It's why his